Hello, everyone. So today we're breaking out a unicorn. I would consider a unicorn. This is Interstellar. You can see the small package. This was back when I first started Color Street. They were the small packages. It was an adjustment when they went to the bigger ones because this was so convenient to store for a lot of reasons. This is the only one I have in this small package, and I didn't buy it back then. I haven't. I got it since then, but so you can look at the if you don't know how to tell the last day or the last number here is the year. So this would be 2018 because it is a color street. If you get some of the original Fa in Cocoa set, some of them might be older. You know, you might see a 3 here that might actually mean 2013, not 2023. Usually, if it's a color street, because I think they released in 2017. So any color street is going to be, the last. I feel like I'm losing. I think you know what I mean, though. So this was, and then these 3 digits are the day of the year. So this was made on the 178th day of 2018. So this is an old set. So, and I thought it would be fun to kind of open up together. So, and one big notice I could tell even before there's two because they used to be a lot more encouraging about being able to reseal the sets, and then little tiny cute purple file. Okay, now let's go ahead and open this up and see what kind of conditions and it's even like the plastic is totally different than they are now. Oh, and look, they have so I always cut them on the opposite side of the name because I like to keep the name because I reseal them. And look, they have the tear tab on the same or on the opposite side. The new ones, they put them on this side, and I wonder if that's part of their, discouraging reselling them. So let's see if this is going to require some. It smells like fresh polish, so that's a good sign. It is a little bit stuck. Sometimes I've had sets. Well, first off, if they're super gummy, you can throw them in the freezer. Probably same thing. Potentially, if it's stuck to the plastic, we may actually just cut the packaging though, if it's feeling pretty stuck. You know what works great for this? The chopstick. So it's nice and long and you can slide it down. Okay, it's not stuck on the back. It might have been a little bit, and then let's just see about the front. I think we want to attempt to cut through here and just sacrifice the packaging. I have lots of other sleeves. Ooh, that one's feeling pretty stuck. Oh, there we go. Cut through there. Just going slow. And up here closer to the tabs, there's less to stick, so I'm having more success sliding my scissors. There, oh, it also helps if I kind of turn my scissors sideways. So this set I actually got, so Stacy's group, it was the first year last year we did a advent calendar where if we signed up, we got assigned randomly. She drew them out of a hat or something, the names out, a random partner, and we each made a little advent calendar. So you could use like envelopes, or I wrap all my sets with wrapping paper. And basically, you did 12 full sets, so your partner had 12 days. Oh, that's pretty. Anyway, and then so you mailed it all at once, and then we all opened them like you numbered them day one, day two, day three, and everyone in the group opened them the same day, day one, day two. And I'm getting distracted by the set. Anyway, she asked me, so you know who your buddy is well in advance, so you have time to ask them questions, what they like, what they don't like, all those things. And she asked if I had any ultimate unicorns. And I can't remember what I said, but she mentioned Interstellar was one of hers, which was not a set I had. And then she sent it to me. My partner's so sweet. So let's think about how I want to. So I decided to just wear this one alone because I just wanna appreciate its goodness, and then I will mix it next round probably. So those should be enough for my pinky and my pointer. And then I do wanna try the trick where this one this thumb is for this finger, and this thumb is for this finger sideways. Because this second thumb I can make if I use this side, the tab side is a little bit wider, and it does seem to fit my thumb. So that allows me to get coverage all the way to the side of my nails, and look how many I'm going to have left over for another mixed mani later. Oh yeah, I destroyed the packaging. I have extra sleeves here. And a lot of people are a lot better than me. They will seal their sets immediately, but I am not that organized. I have a leftover Aberdeen aubergine. I haven't had that set in a long time, but it was a nice long bit of plastic. So I'll save a few of these to have on hand if I ever cut through plastic like I just did now, or sometimes if it's a set that's like an overlay where you just kind of use it as an accent a lot, you know, sometimes I will, reseal it so many times that I run out of plastic to reseal. So I keep a few of these on hand. So I can get it. I'm not gonna seal it right now, but I'm gonna at least stick it in the plastic so it can kind of at least be shielded from the air a little bit. Sometimes I have like a little manicure kit that opens, and I'll sometimes like put it in there. Oh, I still have my nice kid book here. Could stick the end in. I use this to seal my set, so I'll just show you since we're here. That's why I keep this here. This is a great book for it. I'll stick it in the end and then seal it with my flat iron so I'm really squishing out all that air. And I think it helps a lot. I'm just gonna stick it kind of on this end to kind of block the airflow. I know, kind of silly, but all right, let's go ahead and just see how this has fared. You can already the peel off. I think they say color street now. I know it's different. I'm not super good at keeping track of fine details like that, but look at that. Came off nice. The backing is black. Stick that down. Use my rubber cuticle pusher. Seems to be sticking well and not behaving too delicately. So if you get really old sets, sometimes they don't fare well and sometimes they go on better than new ones. So this one seems amazing. How pretty is that? I just went through, well, it actually took me a few days because it kind of was at the bottom of my to-do list, but planned out some, well, birthday season manis because my birthday is coming up. And so kind of the whole monthish around it, I planned a whole bunch of purple manis. And this one, I think it flashes purple. So, and I decided to just bust out. That is gorgeous. Love it. This may sound crazy. I put all of my sets into Airtable, which is a similar format to like an Excel spreadsheet. And in that I have columns for like colors and the manufacture date and I don't know, just whatever details I want to know. I was for a little bit putting in, oh good, that was long enough. I was scared my nail was going to be too long, but the strip was going to be short. For a while I was even putting in pictures of the sets, but that took too long. So when I put all my stuff. Anyway, so I sorted by, every so often I like to sort by oldest sets to newest and then, kind of try to pick from something that's the oldest, and this was one of the oldest ones that had the purple label. So that's kind of how I picked it, and I just couldn't see mixing it. I thought about it. It's like I kind of just want to appreciate it, especially when you have a color shifting set. It's kind of fun anyway. I'm just gonna appreciate this one on its own for a little bit. Anyway, so that's my crazy thing that I have them all in. in a spreadsheet. I like it. I had them in a like a random spinner, like a spinny wheel, so I could, because I'm indecisive, and so I would have it spin. Let's see, I want to think about how I might round this because the shape, if we just cut a little bit rounded here. Let's see, let's maybe use this as a template. What was I saying about the, oh yeah, I had them on all that, but I feel like it wasn't truly random, the spinner. Like, I feel like it would tell me the same sets all the time. It was fun to spin, for sure. To see, kind of like, ooh, I want, what the lottery says, what I'm gonna wear next. Anyway, so I like the spreadsheet, and I'll literally just, maybe I want to pick only from open sets, so I'll sort by sets that are open, and I'll see that, those fill spots number 1 through 200 on the spreadsheet or whatever, and then I'll say, Alexa, pick a random number between 1 and 200 and let her pick my set, or, on Google if I'm on the computer. I get that all the way over to the edge. And I feel like I want to like pull my, it's also sticking to me, so let's fix that. Anyway, so it's fun to have like a challenge and also like the randomness, like, ooh, okay. And you can't decide. A lot of times you have something in mind, or, you're doing it for an event or a holiday or a set you really want to wear, but it's kind of fun sometimes to just do that. And I don't think I did that for any of these purple ones. It was hard to get into it. Like to, it's kind of like, hey, purple sets. And I looked through all my sets, and nothing really stood out. And I was having kind of a creative brain fart. But then I got planning them, and I planned several manis that I'm super excited, all with the purple jive. Kind of transitioning into the fall. I think September's a great month for purple and fall. I mean, it's always a good time for purple, but you know, I think in the summer, I'm like, hey, well, this is my time to wear bright sets. And then spring is, this is the time to wear pastel. And then, of course, you have the holiday seasons, and Christmas. And so kind of focused on that. Anyway, so I'm excited. I planned some fun ones once I got going. I set my two, finally got smart. That's part of what was taking so long, is I was, kind of trying to do it in my bedroom, just sitting in a chair, holding my binders in my lap, but then you're going back and forth. I have my overlays in one binder and holidays in one binder, and then my other binder is all my solids, and then I have a bin of things that are still in the packaging. So, I was going between all of them, and then my toddler would come in and help, and he was flipping the pages, and things were falling out. And this is over anyway, so I set them up on my dining room table, leaned them up. My dining room table has ridges in it, which is the reason we don't eat at that table a lot. It's kind of, I'll do projects at it, or it's also bar height, so my kids can't reach it slash see it as well, especially the the wee toddler. So it's a little bit short there, and I'm just gonna clip my nail. Anyway, but yeah, so it has ridges along, one of the ridges is right along the edge, just a few inches in, and it's perfect to stick your binders in that edge and then just put something behind it and prop it up. So I had them both propped up like a crazy chef or a crazy witch with her brew book. I don't know. My two binders and then my bin of stuff. And then I was able to be like, "Ooh, okay, what goes with this?" and kind of go back and forth. And then we got some stuff done. So let's see. So we'll cut, and hopefully this is, looks like it should be. Let's use this as a template again. Guess we could cut both. but I wanna be careful with that because I don't wanna make it too small. I don't know. I don't know if that even I realize this is probably crazy, and you do not have to do this. And this is kind of an experiment I may, after a few manis, decide, "Nah, I'll just have a small gap," or whatnot. Yeah, this is going on great. Very sticky, very fresh. Oh, for a second, I thought I stuck it on the non-shiny side. That would have been tragic. See if I could get that smooth. So we just survived, and I know it's not totally over yet, but one of the driest summers, and I can't remember how many years, like many, many years, one of the driest summers. And I didn't really notice because we don't get a ton of rain in Utah. We have lots of sunny, yeah, lots of sunny days. We get all kinds of weather, but for the most part, it's sunny and hot in the summer. And so I didn't really notice. And then towards the end of August, I was like, it has not rained in a very long time. Like maybe some sprinkles here and there. And it was getting to where I was starting to get kind of ticked about it. I tend to be someone who's like, you know what, the weather is what it is, and sometimes it's inconvenient. I mostly am thinking about the people that live in Utah and complain about the snow, which I understand. It's annoying when you wake up and gotta shovel stuff now that I'm an adult. But as like a high schooler, I'm like, well, if you hate it so much, live somewhere else. My short-sighted teenager. I know it's not that simple now that I'm an adult. I know that sometimes you have to live a certain place for different reasons, but oh, we're gonna do this again with this now. Okay. Hopefully it'll go faster this time. Anyway, but I was starting to get like, "Hey, it needs to rain. This is getting ridiculous." And then it did. It kind of like teased us for a few days, and then we had like a good day or two of just good rain with some downpours and so good. And now it's a little cooler. We're now, into the 80s where we were writing 90s before. Oops, say that. It was muggy. The worst was a few days before it rained, like the last week before it rained. It was super muggy and hot. So it was like 90 degrees. It was kind of muggy even before that, but it especially got muggy. And we didn't get any rain. And I'm like, this is just rude. And that's the type of weather that I don't handle super well because I live in a dry place and I've lived in Arizona, an even drier place. It used to be wind that I didn't know how to handle, but where I live now, get some decent wind, it doesn't bother me as much. Now, humidity, though, I don't. You people who live with humidity, you're amazing. I guess you get used to it, or maybe you don't. You just survive. But yeah, that was gross. The humidity and the heat, and so it's great to have rain. And we actually got rain before I got to doing any of these manis, but I was thinking about the song Purple Rain. So I don't know if you've ever had a DJ, a radio DJ, just make you love a song just from their one little one-off comment, but that is a song that happened to me. I mean, it's a good song. It's not that I didn't like it, but now it's like when it comes on, I'm like, yeah, Purple Rain. So in Tucson is where it happened when we lived down there. And so in the summer, if you don't know, Tucson usually gets really awesome monsoon storms, just almost every afternoon, just these epic downpours and flash flooding, and it's a lot of fun as long as it's not dangerous, especially if you can just stay on your porch and watch it. It's amazing. Anyway, so one of the summers, we're kind of waiting for monsoon to arrive, for the storms to start, and listening to the radio, and the DJ was just kind of like, we could use some rain. I don't care what kind of rain. It can be I would take Purple Rain, something like that. I don't have the knack of a DJ to say how he did it, but he said something to that effect, and it just made me love that song. I know there's one other song that a DJ did that for me, but I kept trying to think of it and I couldn't remember which one it was. Anyway, so I also thought some purple manis would be appropriate to bring some purple rain for us. But now we got rain, so yay. I wouldn't mind more though. And some cooler fall weather, which there was a hint of it in the air. I could feel it outside. I'm getting ready for the fall. So I realized at the beginning of summer, springish, I talked about my garden, but I don't think I really mentioned it yet. So talk about my garden. So I did finally find a couple of cherry tomato plants, and the water in my garden box. I have like a little like 4 by 8 wooden garden box. I don't know, it got whoops, got weird. And so one of the plants died before I kind of realized the other one is still alive, and it occasionally will produce some really small cherry tomatoes, but not too much to write home about. And then there's another section of my yard, another little corner that I kind of made in to additional garden space. I'll trim that in a little bit. This, or I might file it. This nail, I know it looks like I have gap there, but I don't know. It hurts when I clip it. It like feels like I need to have some length there, or it's just super sensitive. So I'm gonna have to be careful how I trim that so it doesn't cause me pain. Kind of weird. Like it just feels like my finger is attached to my nail a little bit higher up than it should be or something. I don't know. So you get that like, how it's super sensitive under your fingernail. Yeah. Anyway, so I have a little area of my yard that I turned into a garden, and we have had cherry tomatoes there, but and this year there was a volunteer cherry tomato plant, and that's actually the one that's doing the best. It's gotten pretty big. It's produced some really delicious fruit. Not much yet, but it may just be getting going. And then I'm super excited. One of the cucumber plants I planted has produced cucumbers, and oh, garden cucumbers are so good. They're just way tastier than the store. So I've been really enjoying those. And then I also added a strawberry plant, and it's produced a few little tiny ones every few days. It's an ever-bearing one, and I know those it'll take a few years before it really gets cruising. But the fact that it made fruit, I'm excited. That's about it. Nothing super I'm just excited to get a little bit things. And then the front yard, I have some rail boxes on my front porch that I have flowers in, and then a random little basil plant that my husband has used in quite a few things, quite a few meals. So that's kind of fun. It's always super satisfying to eat things you grew. It feels cool, especially since I'm not the cook, he's the cook. So it feels good that I'm like, I grew that. You cooked it, but I grew it. We also in our yard, this was kind of an unplanned, I mean, we were going to do it at some point, some landscaping. We had a plan drawn up, like a master plan for our whole yard a few years ago, and then haven't done much with it just because, funds and, coordinating it all and whatnot. But we happened upon a contractor just looking for work, and it felt like a bit of a risk because it's like, well, anyway, but it turned out great. They did just a portion of our yard. We're going to do it in portions. And it was probably well, definitely was the worst part of our yard. It's on the side of our house, and in the front yard, it's on a slope, slopes down to the neighbors, and it's just like a pain to mow, lots of weeds. And then in the backyard, there was this section, it's probably a good 8 feet wide, but it was just kinda like a weed central. I was actually scared to go back there. It was this big, I mean, not huge, but a decent amount of space back there, and there was a fence between the front yard and the backyard. Our backyard is fenced in, so it's just, that fence enclosing it, but basically they put in a gate, so it's connected, and then they poured a sidewalk, and it's down lower, so it's at our neighbor's level of his yard. This big wide sidewalk, it's wider than I anticipated being, but it looks nice. So it goes back to that gate, and then along the edge, they did a planter box area, so maybe I can put tomatoes there or something. It's kind of a sunny spot where it gets west afternoon sun. Anyway, and then through the gate, they put in some paver, like square paver stepping stone things, and then alongside it, I know there's a word for it, but just like gravel river stones, I don't know, and a few bushes, and then it goes into our backyard, and we poured some more like patio and put up some sunsail posts. And so we have a lot more space for just like our grill and our picnic table. And then further out into the yard, we put up 3 hammock hook posts. And so we can put our hammocks out there. So yeah, so it's been nice. That's been kind of a scary part of our yard over there. And now it's just, I find myself wanting to be in the yard more. Just with that kind of taken care of. We have a square picnic table. Oh, I cut that too rounded. Like round it a little bit, but we'll just kind of try to adjust it down, stretch it down into the corners just gently. Anyway, we have a square picnic table, which I never really would have thought of doing, but our neighbors behind us, they had one, and I couldn't find them anywhere. Like you search on Amazon for picnic tables and you'll get all kinds of things, but not square ones. And I love their square one because you can sit 2 or 3 people easily on each side and everyone can get in and out really easily. Whereas, the long rectangular ones, it's convenient to get in and out, if you're on the end, but in the middle, especially, for older people or anyway, so our neighbors had this square one and I was like, that is amazing. And I searched everywhere and I finally had to ask them, like, where did you get that? And they got it at Tractor Supply. And so we went and got ourselves one and it's been the best thing. It's plastic, but it's super sturdy and might be Lifetime is the brand. So kind of the sturdy outdoor plastic stuff that Lifetime makes. If it's not Lifetime, it's that vibe. And I love it. That thing has been amazing. So I have a little bit of a gap there, and it's kind of annoying because I have my nail is broken down low right there. I don't think it's gonna matter. I'm kind of bothered by it. Anyway, let me not round this one so much. Just a slight. And I will definitely most likely be adding a glitter top coat to this. And I was like, I should start doing it on the video, but I get nervous that it's gonna affect the polish, or sometimes if I do it too thick, it makes the strips start to like do weird things. I don't know. And maybe it's just me. So I'll do that in a few hours from now. And I thought about I could always come back on the video and film myself putting it on, kind of like I did on the last video where, I mean, I showed it after because I loved the result. Otherwise, I wouldn't have worried about it. But I kind of showed what it did after. So maybe I'll do that on future videos. We're headed out of town tomorrow, and so I'm just gonna worry about getting to bed and all that and not coming back to this. But I will probably just do like a really fine. I thought about doing clear as day over it, but I don't want to potentially influence the duochrome finish in any way. I just want to kind of appreciate it in its beauty. So I'll probably do a glitter top coat that has a really fine glitter potentially, and then a gel top coat. And then after I've enjoyed it for a day or two, I may add like a chunkier, maybe like an iridescent, is that the right word? Those kind of transparent prism effects top coats that are glitter, so you can still see everything, but it just adds that extra, like I did on the last video, like the sea charms or whatnot. So just so you guys know how I kind of finish my manis, I like to let them cure up a little bit, and then I'll usually do a glitter topper and then a gel top coat on top of it, and that really gives it some good strength. This went on great. It could use a second layer potentially, but I don't want to influence that beautiful shine to it. So I'm excited to see these throughout the weekend in the sun. We're going to be outside a lot on our trip, and we'll clean this up a little bit. I go back and forth whether I should, how much to clean up on the video, but seeing I may have taken too much there. But I'm just going to kind of let these harden, and then I'll clean up the edges a little bit more. That's annoying that I took too much there. Just a little bit of a gap. Anyway, let's move this stuff out of the way. These are so pretty. This set. I'm excited to wear this. So thank you to my Advent partner for sharing this beauty with me and kicking off birthday season. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. I hope you have a great day or night. I'll talk to you guys later.